In this presentation, I'm going to go over these three topics. I'm going to talk about first what I learned from my interaction with my peers about learning strategies and technology, specifically on flipped learning and blended learning. Then I'll talk about Google Plus and communities and how that is a tool that can be used in that platform as well and its usefulness. And what I'm going to do when I, with this information, take it back to my building for myself in my classroom, but also my colleagues, and more importantly, my administration to see the benefits of this. So I was part of a group on the overall idea of learning strategies, but my topic was specifically focused on the implementation and effects of blended learning. And first, what I found out, and I'm very excited, is that there are many teachers out there who like this idea of blended learning and are excited about it just like I am. I've only come across one other teacher in my time that has shown interest in this idea. So it's nice to see that, and it's nice to be part of a community where I can get this kind of information. The other thing is that finally, I believe that blended learning will be the piece that has been missing from differentiated instruction. I've tried differentiated instruction, and it has crumbled around me because it is incredibly challenging to manage. And what I have discovered is that this technology will allow teachers, A, to manage their time better with kids as an organizational piece, but also to provide different learning opportunities through that technology for kids to learn. So I'm hoping that that piece will make the idea of differentiation much more streamlined. Still challenging, but more possible. And what I also learned is that there are a wide variety of blended learning models, the most popular of which is flipped instruction, which is actually technically a hybrid model, and the least disruptive of some of the others. All the way, we have ones where kids literally show up to like a big giant open area with cubicles where they do learning, and then go out to some little small classrooms on the periphery, and there's a few teachers there. So it's very wide varying, and there's just a lot of information out there. But what I have seen, I've seen some conflicting information on the effects of this, kind of depending on where the data is taken from. But everything from incredible gains in reading proficiency, math as well, because of this kind of individualized instruction. But also I've seen studies where they show very little difference between the old model and this model. So only time will tell on that and its effectiveness as long as people continue to implement it. So the other really interesting half of this was doing this process on Google Plus through the communities portion of that. It's, essentially their social media platform. So before we talk about that, there's two different types here of discussions, synchronous and asynchronous. Synchronous is what we usually look at when we're in classrooms. The teacher decides what day is going to happen. It's predetermined questions that usually have to be answered before you show up. And you either participate or you don't in that 45 to 50 some odd minutes time frame, depending, or maybe it's a block schedule. And that's it. No ifs, ands, or buts. So it's very planned. Asynchronous is the same idea with discussion. However, the teacher kind of sets it up and the students interact with it over a long extended time in a digital format, whether that be text, typing, right, or videos. Either one works. What's really different is that it allows kids to think more before they respond by widening that time frame. And the students decide what to respond to and when to make that response. They both have their benefits. Of course, people need to know how to interact with each other, not just digitally. But asynchronous discussions via anything like Google Plus on the communities is a way to get more kids involved in the discussion because it allows them to be more thoughtful in their responses. So I think it has a great use in a classroom setting, especially for more timid students like myself. I was very timid, and a lot of times, the discussions can be dominated by a few students. So the Google Plus community is a wonderful place to gather information and to share knowledge with other people. I think that this could serve first and foremost as a great communication tool as a building between teachers, counselors, and administration, as well as a place for maybe even parents. It can be used in a school setting. I'm a little skeptical or a little reserved in using that because of moderation problems. However, I have learned that you can, as the creator of that community, moderate discussions. You can delete discussions. You can even kick people out for inappropriate behavior. So it is possible. And it would be a wonderful way for groups to work together and for kids to ask questions even about assignments, for you to quickly respond just through your smartphone even. Really cool way to stay connected. With blended learning, my goals are to continue transitioning my current units into blended learning units. I haven't really run, I would say, a full unit on blended learning, but I hope to next year, and to share the ups and downs of that unit with my colleagues. Many of the teachers there are more seasoned teachers who do not really like the idea of radically changing the way they teach, so maybe by seeing what I'm doing, it might encourage them to do that as well. Also, the big thing here is through administrative support. My administrators are wonderful. They like new ideas. However, they want those new ideas to fit into this box that they've created of testing at the same time, unit tests that are all the same, common assessments, and they want them given roughly at the same time. So while these blended learning models, the big idea is to give kids they can work at their own pace and everything, there is still a time frame crunch here. There is a content crunch here. So it'll be interesting to see how they react to that. The other big thing is I hope to present these in professional development offerings. We do a lot of our own professional development in-house. Teachers present things that they learn about, and I hope to maybe present a very clear message about what blending learning is and isn't, and how it can benefit teachers in the classroom. If teachers can actually see it working, rather than just reading about it on some piece of paper, they might be more likely to use it.